Hey, what is going on the YouTube? This is the Gaming Guy. In today's video I'm going to be bringing to a video that people have been commenting, asking for over the last couple of weeks. I've got quite a couple of comments about it. So obviously, as the title says, it's going to be the best ways to resell your Supreme, or how you should go about reselling on your Supreme if you're going to be selling it on. I'm just going to be going through all the options and what you need to do. So yeah, let's get into this video. Also, cause I gotta wear it. Also on the side of the air fresheners for the Jordan 1, Ethan hit me up first for that one. So that's going in a letter and being sent to him. And Aiden gets the Air Max 90. So yeah, they're just going in letters and I'm gonna be sending them off now so that they get them Tuesday, Wednesday hopefully, but Tuesday hopefully they get them, so yeah. Okay, so obviously I'm going to be going through pretty much like best ways to resell your items if you are looking to resell your Supreme, or if you're just looking to sell on your Supreme that you've already owned. Now, there are obviously different routes for different things. StockX is obviously for dead stock, so if you don't have like a dead stock item, don't bother trying to sell on StockX or even think about StockX. You can cross that one off your list. But here's the best way. If you are going to sell on StockX, these are the best ways to go through it. So, firstly, I just have to say as well that there are different tiers for the amount of items you sell, to the percentage that will be taken off, or your seller's fee sort of percentage that they take off. So it always goes down for the more items you sell. I'll put that up on screen, sort of the amounts. But let's just go for something simple like the Mona Lisa tee in white. Okay, so the retail on this was like £41. I think it's like $46 because they have like $10 shipping, and around, you know, 45, 50 euros. So, say you've paid $42 or whatever, £42, whatever overall. The current sales in pretty much any size on StockX are about $100. Now, depending on the size and what you're going to sell, they're obviously going to be the fees. So, if we're clicking not place ask, but sell now, and the price that they've got it as is 96 because that's the highest bid that someone's put in, the payout that you will get is $84, is what it says on my screen currently. So as you can see just there, I've just moved it above my head, but it says $84. Now the only issue is if I do hit to sell and I sign in, the only issue is if I do click to sell now for the UK, you are going to be hit with a $30 shipping fee. The only issue is if I was going to sell in the UK, that you're going to be hit with this shipping fee. Now someone did comment saying at one point that the more items you sell, at some point they take away this shipping fee. However, if you are a first time seller in the UK or the EU in general, you're going to be hit with this $30 shipping fee. If you're in the US, you're not going to be hit with this fee, and you will probably come out with about $30, maybe $35 profit on your item if you are selling it on StockX. So obviously, as soon as you go to sell, you'll click review item, and they will have two boxes for you. They will have my item is brand new and unworn. I will ship within 2 business days of sale to avoid the penalties. So for my tee, I paid obviously £42 overall for it. However, if I was to sell it on StockX, I would get £41 back. Now obviously that's not the greatest thing for people in the UK, so you probably want to avoid trying to sell your tees on StockX unless they're tees that are like $300, maybe $400, and you can obviously get a larger amount for them, or items that are worth probably a lot more than their retail. Because if you're wanting to make profit on item and you do want to go through the route of StockX, which I would say if you're in the US, I would definitely recommend using StockX, but if in the UK or EU, I don't know whether I'd recommend it as much on items that you're not going to get a mass amount of profit on due to the fee. Now obviously all websites have fees, or most websites for selling have fees in general, so you are going to be hit with fees, but just for StockX, for the point that there's the $30 shipping, that's just a lot to take off your order if your item's only like $150 or $100 to $150. If your item's like $200, $300, $400, then you might not mind that fee or the shipping fee so much, but at this price, it's quite a lot to lose out on. So that is obviously the route that you want to go through if you're going with StockX. You need to make sure that your item is dead stock and that it's like just all perfect, all good. And yeah, you obviously just ship it straight off to them. They'll authenticate it, which might take a week or 2, and then past that you will get your money. Now obviously you do then have the next 2 options, which have the same fee, but in general they're probably the more open options which people use a lot more often, which is obviously eBay and Depop. go through eBay first. Very simple. I've literally just searched up Supreme Mona Lisa tea just to keep it simple. I'm going to use the Mona Lisa tea as the example for this one because it's recent and its price will pretty much be the same and then fluctuate in a little bit of time. So currently this tea is listed by this person. Sometimes you want to avoid people who have zero feedback. Also, he's got 50% positive, which isn't too amazing for a seller, but we're going to leave that because we're just talking about the selling aspect for this. So currently it's got a £73 bid, and as you can see, all he's done is included a confirmation order for it. What you usually want to do when you are selling an item is sometimes have the picture that Supreme list up, which you can just get off their website and save easily. Then you want sometimes a picture of your name or on a card or a piece of paper or something, either your eBay name or your Depop name or your actual name if you're selling on other websites, which require images so that they can prove that the item is yours. But you usually want just a picture of the item as well as the Supreme item. Now when you do order items, or when you order the images, I will go on sell right now. Literally just click sell. It's loaded up and I have to search up the name of what the item is. So all I have to do is search up Supreme Mona Lisa tea, hit go. It will bring up a load of different options of ones, so we're just going to pick the top left. Now obviously when you are selling your item, don't lie when you are selling your item. If you've worn it, you have to put used. You know, even if you've tried it on once, like an Instagram photo, it's used. So if it's brand new in its bag, click the top option. It'll bring up a load more like settings for you. Now what you always want to do is when you are listing, you want to take the Supreme photo and put it as the main photo. The point of this is that with your photo, it might not be the greatest quality. You might have a really great quality photo, but still people are going to click on the item because they see the Supreme main photo. Then following that, you just want a picture of the item with either your eBay name or whatever it is that your name is for that. When you are selling on eBay, you just want to have that name next to it, and sometimes your confirmation order with just like your first name and then blank your order number out. They always tell you where the item is currently selling. At the moment it says between £54 and £88. Now if you do the starting price, change it to buy it now, get rid of that, say £76. As you can see, it is saying that that is a very high odd of selling. So if I paid £42 for this, I'm going to get about £30 profit, take away the 10% eBay fee, which would be £7.60, plus whatever the eBay shipping fee, which if it was £3.45, as you can see here, it's £3.45 to buyer pays, so there'd also be like a 35p charge on top of that. So let's say overall the person has paid £78 and 45p for the t-shirt off of you. You're going to get about £70 or £70 and like 50p or 60p back from that sale, because obviously eBay have their 10% fee on pretty much everything. Sometimes they do like these no fee sort of days on some specific items when you are selling on eBay, but it's usually or typically not clothing. They do like a no fee sort of day, but that's usually never on clothing. So when you are selling your item, there'll be a 10% fee. They will tell you when the fee is due, which is normally like 30 days after, but they will always send you the full amount and then you'll have to pay the fee afterwards. But yeah, if I sold this for £76, including the shipping, I'd get £70 or nearly £71 back, which would be about a £29 profit on the tea, which isn't too bad to basically get double the money of the retail back. So that's eBay covered. Let's switch up to Depop. Depop you actually want to do on your phone. It's very obviously simple to do on your phone, but let's just pick one, this one right here. So this person has listed theirs up. As you can see, they've used their own pictures for the first two. Usually I'd recommend that you have a label. Having a label for your name is always good, or having a recognizable background. There are some people who on Depop are really decent sellers, which I believe it is this person who always is just a great seller. They have this amazing background for every single one of their pieces, and it's very high quality and it's very professional for when they list their items up. So I'd always recommend having something that's recognizable, or background that's recognizable, or a certain way that is you. You don't want to copy other people, you want to have your own style when you are listing things up. But yeah, as you can see, like this person, they've got their little they've got their name or their @ on a piece of paper, so it's just very simple, and that's all you want to do pretty much. Is when you list it, just have the pictures, have either an even background or have a recognizable background for it, and always list everything that it is. So obviously when you're listing, you want to put the name, the colorway, the size, what condition, and obviously whether it's an all-in price or what it is in general. Obviously you want to see where the market is going for the pieces at that point in time. So if I go back and take a look, you can currently see that When I'm looking around the market and the market prices, as you see currently, the cheapest white colourway on Depop that I can see so far is about £85. So if you've got one of the white colourways, that's sort of the going rate on Depop. You might be able to get more, you might be able to get less, but always have open to offers, because you never not want to be able to like take an offer to try and maximize on your profit. And obviously I'll show you on eBay what they're also going for or selling for, just so that you can also get an idea, because when you are selling your items you want to look at what sort of the market price is currently. So you can see this one sold for £73, whereas the one above went for 86. They only sold 3 hours apart, which isn't a massive amount of time, but as you can see, one went for £13 above the other, and they charged more on the shipping. So the prices will always vary when you are listing on eBay or when you are doing open bids. The price is currently about £75 to £100 for this white colourway in the Mona Lisa tee in large size. If you do want to get a sort of idea of what your item is worth, always go on either Depop or eBay to search up the sold items to see what they're selling for at that time, because you never want to overprice or underprice your item. You always want to price it in between what others are selling for. So that's eBay and Depop covered. Obviously I'll go on to mine just so you can see. Well, obviously on these items you can't see anything, but these were quite a while ago I listed these things up. But on the Rifkin safety sack, as you can see, I used a white background from like a green screen that I had, and I did the same for the other item. Plain white background. This is when I was listing things up on Depop, but plain white background. Just took pictures of the item and literally just put what it was. There's the item, there's the item. Very simple. Because I was using the same background, I didn't need to put a tag for my name or anything. I just needed to keep using the same background. Okay, Supreme Facebook group. There are a ton of Supreme Facebook groups. There are a ton of other groups if you've got the shoes. If you want to sell like Supreme shoes, you can go to Sneaker Myth, or you can join a group called Sneaker Myth. There are just a ton of different groups that you can join to sell Supreme. Now, since I'm using the Mona Lisa tee as an example, I'm just going to search Mona Lisa tee in the search and see what comes up. So since I'm obviously using the white colorway large or medium as an example, I'm going to go under this person's listing. I'm going to blur or blank out things to do with them just because I'm not going to include that. So they've got white large dead stock, they've got their name on the piece, and they've got it up for £85. Now obviously some items don't sell, you have to bump them, you have to sell them in different ways, you have to cut your prices, but in the end they do usually end up selling if you go for a decent price or if you list it up for a decent price. This is probably one of the better examples of people like listing up their items. They've got the initial picture, they've got another one, they've got the next, and they've got the order confirmation. That's pretty much all you want to do when you are selling these items. If you've got it in the bag, even better if it's dead stock. If it's used, you can do the same. This one's never worn, but it's taken out of its packaging for pictures. And as you can see, it's literally very simple. You just want your name on a piece of paper, up close of the images. So you always want to have like a little piece of paper with your name on it, and then either the wash tag or like any tags that are pretty much on the piece of clothing. But obviously when you are listing your items on these websites, you always just want to bump your items up by just putting literally just the letter B for bump in the comments, and you always just want to try and bump them maybe every 5 or 6 or 7 hours, just keep them consistently appearing. Make sure you post the item to multiple groups. So you've got Supreme Talk, you've got Supreme Community. If it's a box logo that you're selling, you've got Supreme Box Logos, you've got TNF Talk. You've pretty much just got a ton of different groups that you can join and sell your items on. Now obviously sometimes you need to have a fair price for your items, and you need to either put like the all-in price, or whether it's plus for shipping and fees, and also whether you're going to be open to offers or not. So I was just starting to edit this video when I realised that I missed out on two very important either like applications and website, or application and website in this case, where you can also sell streetwear items or items in general. One of those is Bump. Obviously it's an app that is sort of like Go. If you've used the Go app before, I would throw a thing on screen, but I don't think there's a point in me trying to screen record this. But in general, Bump, if I get up hopefully a picture, but Bump in general, if as you can see I'm on their website, they have all the things to show you, but it is sort of like the layout of Goat. Now if you've ever sold on Goat before, or if you haven't sold on Goat before, if you've tried to, there are a couple of things that you have to take into consideration, which Bump also do. So basically when you go to sell on Goat for your shoes or your sneakers, however you want to say it, you have to take a variation of photos which they align for you and they show for you. When I first tried to sell on there, because they now don't allow people in the UK to sell on there, but when I tried to sell on there, they basically asked for photos of the top, side,
back to them, the inside, everything pretty much. And they line it up as well for you. They line up like a sort of shoe sign for you. And this is what Bump asks for when you do go to sell your items. So they ask if you have a white backdrop, a bed sheet, or like helps with the branding. So obviously if you've actually got like a white tee, probably use a black backdrop for it, because that helps it a bit more, and vice versa. For any other colours, probably leave it with white, but if you have a background that you already use for the colour, then just use that background. They mentioned the whole product placement when you are selling your items, so you have like a 360-degree angle of it. I already went through and said that. Tagged photos, and yeah, obviously if you've got a specific background which stays like sort of to you or to your style, then as long as you have like an amount, I would say, of items listed, so maybe like 10, and they all have the same background, then people might not need to worry about the whole tagging a photo. However, if you're just going to list one item to try and sell, it's probably best to tag your item. But this is the way that they're going through to show one of the person selling their items or how they've taken photos. I'm sure there are probably a couple more, because obviously you need to show the wash tags and all of the tags on the item, but yeah. They also go through to tell you a bunch of things like you should include like the season the item came out and different things like that. I probably wouldn't say to do that, because you'll probably have that in the title anyway. So if you're selling an old item, you'd probably just put it in the title for the point that people are going to search it out for that, like that way. And then they just ask you on the Bump app to give your item a rating out of 10, which most people do anyway when you are listing an item, so yeah. But yeah, Bump is another application that you can use. This is actually on Bump, this whole how to sell sort of thing. I would download the app on my phone, but to be honest, I'm not going to be using it, so I'm just going through the guide of what you can do, and you can literally just go on the App Store, search up Bump, and download it that way. But if you have ever used the Go app, it literally looks sort of the same. Like, the layout is sort of the same in my view. The other side to Bump that I didn't mention is the fee side. So like on Depop, you get the 10%. On eBay, you get the 10% plus sometimes. On StockX, for UK or EU, you get like a 9.7 plus a 3.6% or something, plus the shipping fee up until you sell a certain amount. On Bump, you only get an 8.9% fee. So there's that. That's quite a positive for it. When you take into perspective the amount like of money that like even a single % could take off over an amount of time, it's definitely a lot to save when you are selling. So that is a positive for Bump. I also read on here that they don't physically inspect the item, so if anyone is selling a fake, people would have to make it out to be a fake before it would either get reported or whatever. But that's just one thing about the app that I can see that might be a little issue. But definitely the seller's fees, the amount of more users that are going on there as they've only been up for like 6 or 7 months, and how easy their app is to use in general are positives for this. So yeah, that's just another one where you can sell your items on from. The final place where you can sell all of your Supreme pieces on is Grailed. Obviously a massive website. I'm just going to simply click the sell button. As you see, it just wants me to sign up, so I'm going to sign up for this and go through the process of how you would sell on Grailed. I also normally use Grailed to cross-reference sometimes pricing for items. So like I said, the Mona Lisa tee. The price before we said was £75 to £100. Now obviously most of these are going to be in America, so the price will just vary in the end. So there is one for $108, but obviously it's in America, it's not in the EU. In large, there's 135 in medium, 200 large, 162 medium. The only white large is $108, so yeah. That's the sort of pricing that you'd see on here. Now, if you were going to sell yours on here and it was white large, then you could probably list it out for $100 and get your easy profit. The same applies for medium. The cheapest on here is $140, so you could probably undercut them by like $20+ if you wanted to, and still make a really decent profit on your item. Anyway, let's go through how to sell, so I'll just go on their website. Now obviously what you have to do is connect your PayPal account when you first sign up for Grailed, or you first try to sell anything, which was what that little green bar was then. So when we scroll down, you can see there's a lot to do, and obviously it's US dollar, which we can probably change. So obviously we're just going to click under the category, and we're just going to click short sleeve t-shirts, because I'm guessing that's the closest that I'm going to like pretty much get to like a tee. Designer is Supreme. And we're just going to call it obviously the Mona Lisa tee. So for the description, they asked you to put the retail price, condition, measurements, just pretty much everything. So the retail would be 36, dead stock, size large. In dollars, you put it up for 100, so you probably change this to $36. And you can also choose to have the people pay in a specific currency if you would like to. So I've just chosen the pound, obviously. I've clicked off accept offers and I've just set it to buy it now. Now obviously for shipping, it's obviously a different thing. They don't make the seller charge or pay for the shipping, they make the buyer pay for the shipping. So you can see for United States you've got $40, United Kingdom 15, Australia 50, other 25, Asia 50, Europe 30, and Canada 40. Now obviously you can change these prices to what you want depending on the weight of the item or depending what it would actually cost to ship it to those parts of the world. But that's pretty much that. I like this part about Grailed, to be honest, because it doesn't take away from your whole fees. You know, if you sell it on Facebook, you usually have to do all in or plus for shipping and fees, which sometimes people don't want to pay for the shipping, even though it's sometimes only like £5 or £6, maybe even 7 or 8 if you want to go for higher up shipping. But yeah, I like the fact that they do cover this. And they obviously just put, once a buyer has paid, it's the seller's responsibility to complete and pay for the shipment with the funds collected from the buyer's payment. So obviously if they pay for $40 shipping and you ship for like $20 or $15, then that's really not what you're supposed to be doing, and they might have a problem with that or something might come up because of that. So obviously you want to adjust these depending on how much it would actually cost to ship to those places. Lastly, they just want you to add your photos onto it, and that's pretty much it, yeah. And obviously the commission is it's basically the same as Bump's, and it's 6% plus 2.9% for the PayPal and 30-cent fee. So it's basically the same as what Bump has, which is really good for like a fee. They also have here that PayPal charges 4.4%, but they've put that it's 2.9%, so obviously you'd have to see about that. But yeah, that's the final app or company that I can pretty much show you where you can sell your items. If I was going to rank them just in the order of the way that you can sell items the quickest, you could probably sell them, or the fastest, on eBay, just because a lot of people go through eBay and a lot of people just quick sort of buy. They'll just buy the item on instinct. So yeah, eBay's a decent one for that. Facebook is definitely number 2 in my book, just because obviously you can save on the eBay fees and all of those, and you'll just take the PayPal fees and you're dealing with someone directly. Then I'll probably go for Depop as the next one, then StockX, or maybe StockX then Depop. I haven't sold on StockX before, so I can't really give it a massive like rating for it, but all I know is that the fee just sort of puts me off from it, or just the shipping fee, because for UK or EU that $30 fee is quite a lot for the shipping. So, and if you're only selling an item for $100, it's not worth it to sell on there. Then I'll probably put Grailed and Bump on the same level. Obviously, I haven't used Bump to sell on, so I can't give a full review of how you should sell on it, but in general, I've heard that it's a good app, so I'll probably give it like number 4 or number 5 spot, and then Grailed would come last. So that's pretty much all that I can say about this. Those are the main ways that you are going to be able to resell your items, or those are the best way to resell your items. You always want to make sure that you've just got pictures that are as clear as possible, that have your name on it if you're selling on Depop or Facebook, and sometimes on eBay, maybe just your eBay name, not your actual name. And sometimes you just want a recognizable background, or something like a Supreme towel, like bait blanket, something that just makes it so that it is you, so that people know every time you list that they're like your background. So if it's on Depop, sometimes you don't need to include your name if you do have a recognizable background, or if you do have like a certain way that you go about listing your items and you consistently do it that way. But yeah, that's going to cover the video. If you enjoyed it, like, would be much appreciated. Other than that, let me know down below what you sell on, or what places you sell on, or what you've sold on. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Peace.